Hello, folks, and welcome back to Tyranny. As always, of course, I am Falcon, your host, and we're going to pick up right exactly where we left off. We are about to have a conversation with Ebb about how the magic of this place apparently reacts to us. Strange. She curls her fingers and draws a quick sigil in the air, then studies how it fades. The magic of this place responds to you, the portal, the braziers, it all grows more vibrant when you approach. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. It's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related. Either way, sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. It's actually not a bad idea, Verse. I frankly would not have expected you to have anything to say about a magic anything. No offense. Be sure to see me after your audience with Tunon. We cannot let the Scarlet Chorus gain hold in the tears. Together we will wipe them from the land. Come to me as soon as you can, Fatebinder. We have a lot of work to do. Yeah. Shove off. Find a way to Lethian Crossing Spire. Investigate the spires. Travel to Tunon's court. So we've got a bunch of things we've got to do now. So we have to do this. Region spires attached to... gain access to havens. Touch the old walls of Lethian's Crossing settlement. Travel there and find a way to gain access to the spire. So I guess we have to go into the old walls, then get to the spire that way, I'm guessing? I don't know. Huh. Tunon is the voice for Kairos and the Tears, and you want to know the specifics of what transpired in Mendrin's Well. I don't necessarily know that we want to tell Tunon too much about what this spire is doing with us, because I have a feeling that may be something we might want to keep at least partially to ourselves. Just saying. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and take the Clear Mind ability, because if I can keep her out of battle, that could be pretty powerful. Yes. So, let's do that. Syzygy. Okay. Weapon crit can freeze enemies. Interesting. Does arcane damage. Fearsome specimen of the modern Tidecaster's staff, a bladed pole-on with a much more martial, intimidating construction than the humble and hand-carved wooden staves that the first Tidecasters repurposed from sailing oars, rather. Festooned about the shaft are etchings of the celestial dance between the sun, Terratus, and the moons. So... okay. So it is a ranged only. I thought maybe it could be used as a melee weapon too, but again, it doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like... oh shit, what the hell just happened? I clicked and the game froze. Oh, there we go. Apparently not entirely. Just mostly. What you look like... okay, so... I'll look and see your tattoos a little bit. Interesting, oh, can I not take these off? Oh, there we go. Circle, and I wonder if these are like arcane sigils, you know, if they have any sort of arcane meaning to them. Extra health, that would be pretty good if I had, you know, armor that I could actually wear with that. Unfortunately, I don't, so, you know. Doesn't help that much. But you're not even wearing a helmet, so I guess you can put that on, because you don't have anything else that you're actually wearing otherwise. Didn't I... huh. Simple fair, fingerless, breathable cotton sleeve fastened with a single length of rope Ornately tied along the lower arm. Most casters find clothes a needless bit of encumbrance, a liability that takes on water and gives one's enemy something to grab. Spending much of their life on docks and boats often means a bit of rope or fix to secure something, rather than carry cumbersome bundles of line. Most tide casters prefer to wear this rope as a fashion, so as to never be without this handy tool. Interesting. It actually looks pretty cool, but I kind of like your hair being all kind of wild. It looks neat. It looks pretty neat, so I think we're gonna stick with that. What's this? Alright. Wait, what is this? Oh, that's the immune to poison thing. That's why they tried to poison him a number of times in a couple of those fights, and it just didn't do anything, because, well, he's immune to it, so it's actually pretty cool. Alright, whatever. This is actually a pretty neat ability, and I want to make sure that I keep control of it. I want to make sure I have somebody who always has it available to them, but can't use it just yet. Alright. I'm really trying to decide if I want to bring Verse or if I want to bring Lantry. Because I don't know what we have to, like, really do here once we get finished with stuff. Citadel. Alright, so we have to go now to Sunset Spire, the Lethian's Crossing Spire. We also have to go to the Bastard City, Dunon's Court. And looks like we can't go anywhere else. So I guess these are the locations of all of the spires. These magic repulsing attempts to claim the Citadel was promised to the Overlord. Okay. Iron Hearth. We can't go there yet. Sentinel Stand. Case with a massive perpetual tornado. Its ruling families, the Regents. Protected by two massive walls, was never taken during the conquest. Frustrated with the siege, Kairos issued an edict that severely damaged the castle, left it encased within a massive perpetual tornado. Okay, so that's the one that the Edict of Storms is applied to. Base of Nerat's horde reside here among the dry, rocky plateaus clustered in the stone sea's outer rim. Though not resembling a traditional fortress, the Occam's chosen base of operation is exceedingly difficult to assault. So let's see, there's a spire there's a spire there, another spire there, so there's actually two in the Stone Sea area. Another spire down there, and another one right there. So there's 1, 2... Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's more symbols here than there is spires. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 more beyond what we can see, which is interesting. And possibly gives credence to the thought that I had last time that I said that something that I thought that I had come up with, but I'm not entirely sure. Of course, it doesn't respond to your touch. You're the wrong damn person. Oh. Okay, so it doesn't work right now. Alright then.
At least in theory,
so, they only do
I'm
talk
supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making.
Yeah.
If given the choice between a multifaceted hive mind of treachery and a surly old soldier, General Grumps is the wiser choice. It's patently obvious which Archon is truly loyal to Kairos. So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans?
I'm a servant of the Archon of Justice. That much has not changed. Well, as it suits my purposes, I'll ally with the disfavored. A little corner of the tiers, or just straight up stand with them. Servant of the Archon of Justice. That much has not changed.
Dutifully spoken. It is Tunon's duty to arbitrate matters between the Archons, so this rift between Ash and Narat certainly falls under his jurisdiction. And here you are, thrust in the middle of the dispute. No doubt the mighty adjudicator will be relying heavily on you to get to the truth of the matter.
Indeed.
Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Most likely. Have you heard of them being broken before? Now, we've known that they could be, because they all have a clause that says if, if such and such happens, this will end. But
most of Kairos' edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon.
I mean, we didn't really break it. It ended because we took the place. That's what it was required to end it.
The oldest is, I think, Golbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380. In all these stories, Kairos' edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation.
Noted. Let's get going. Yeah, that's all for now. So we do have to talk to the others. Let's talk with Barrack first.
Civil war divides the armies of mighty Kairos. The reckoning that comes of this failure will be great indeed.
Indeed.
We find ourselves in the darkest times. Brothers and sisters who fought for a similar cause now skewer each other over blighted lands in the favor of distant powers.
So what would you have done?
Backing the disfavored was the only logical choice. Graven Ash is the only Archon worthy of your confidence, and you were wise to recognize as much. Naturally, I would have done the same.
Indeed.
Whatever others might say about what happened in Vendrian's Well, you acted from instinct. I can't help but respect that.
Question.
What can I do for you?
Either of you notice that you fight particularly well together?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
Indeed. I want you two to train together. So how do you think that's possible?
I would suggest that our fighting styles complement each other, but they do not. I would suggest that we get along, but we do not. We don't even finish each other's
sentences. Okay, that was strange. Did you hear that? The next time I catch a whiff of Barrack's meaning, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Yeah, probably should. Look, I want you two to train together.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
Well, fine. Neither of you is up to the challenge. I won't force it.
A valiant attempt, but I'm not as easily swayed by your courtly tongue.
Fuck.
Neither am I. At least, not in this context.
Oh my. I could command you to.
Sorry, Fatebinder. But no. It's a fair idea.
We likely just kill each other.
Agreed. It's not happening in this lifetime, but I like your passion.
So why not?
I think that because I don't want to covers it pretty well. Training alongside this self-important braggart is likely to sap whatever patience I have left.
I can see that you're out to serve the best interests of the war, but we are accustomed to handling ourselves.
Alright, we'll discuss that later, because I actually do want them to work together, but I have a feeling that there's going to be groups that you can make with your companions, and I would not be at all surprised if Ebb and Lantry are another pair that, like, quote-unquote, works well together. Unfortunately, of course, to get that, we have to lose somebody. And of the two, I would lose Verse. And in fact, I think I'm going to take Verse out. For now, at least. And take Lantry back. Because I want to try to
one moment,
level
my
him
friend.
up some.
Just let me finish this thought.
Finishes that with a flourish. He licks the tip of the quill, pausing to taste it a second. Taste it a second and third time before tucking the pen in the holster. Alright, so I'll add you to the group.
I will, I can
Sober up on the road. Oh, good. Alright, so, yeah. I'm gonna take you and lose her for the moment. Just for right now. And you're gonna talk to
the
her.
Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are at each other's throats. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but the Archons might have waited until one war was over before they started another.
Think I made the right decision?
Fighting with the Disfavored. Oh, not the call I would have made, but I'm sure you have your reasons. If you like iron weapons or something about that purple uniform excites you, then be my guest. Who can say? War is all about compromising your morals, deciding who lives and dies. What seems like a mistake turns into your greatest call down the road.
Indeed.
Let me make one thing clear, just so that there aren't any misunderstandings. You support Graven Ash, and I couldn't care less. I'm here because you've done what none of the Archons could. Not even the voices of Nerat would fault me that. He's also a complete bastard, and I wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to stab him in the gut and take control of his army. So, there's that.
So you have no loyalty to Nerat and the Scarlet Chorus. Not really. You're not a fan of the Disfavored, but you really have no loyalty to anybody else. As opposed to Barrick, who very, very much is loyal to Graven Ash.
I'll say this much. Our time together is anything but dull. My blades are yours for as long as you'll have me.
All right,
What do you need?
Things. Apparent connection with Barrick. So that still is a thing, so that's good. I just can't do anything with it just yet. Alright, so for the time being, I want to have him along because he's a... what the hell are you guys doing on your organizing here? What the shit? Why? Stupid. Anyway, I want Barrick because he's our tank. I want Ebb and Lantry, or I want Lantry because he's our healer. And I kind of want Ebb along just because I want to see what she can do. Because she has some interesting abilities. So I kind of want to check those abilities out. I also need to give her some spells, which we should probably do before we leave. So let's give her the Rhyme Spike spell. And then let's give her this spell. Up its damage, and then up... Actually, just up its damage. It's fine. And then, let's give you... So I don't really want that. You already have Electric Jolt. Although, looks like you have... Although I can do a buffed version of it. Yes, update this to the buffed version. And for that matter, I think I can update mine to a buffed version of it as well. Lose that version, I'd rather have the more damage. Yeah. This one is better range, okay. So yeah, update this one to the more damage. And it requires 75, so nope, don't have enough to do that. Okay, so don't have enough to upgrade that any further, so that's fine for now. What about Rhyme Spike? Oh, sweet, okay, so I can update that one. Suppose I should really upgrade as many of these as possible. Can't learn that, because we don't have the ability to learn those. Until we learn Sigil of Terratos for that. Okay. Can I upgrade this one? No, I can't. Can I upgrade the range on it? I could. Or I can upgrade the duration, which is probably better. I don't have quite the lore for that. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Oh, I could make a Frostfire Rhyme Spike? Ooh. 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 That's actually pretty cool. I don't quite have the ability to do it just yet, but that is pretty neat, and I'm definitely going to go for that, I think. Once all is said and done, I just can't do it quite yet. Can't do it quite yet, but I will definitely go for that at the end of the day, though. Definitely want to go for that at the end of the day, though. Oh, duration of this? Oh, I can. Okay. Range is not helpful. Intensity is actually useful. Although I think I'd rather have the time effect updated, actually. There we go. Alright, so we've upgraded our spells some and assigned... Oh, you have another spell. Let's see. What do I want to make for that spell? I think it required 60 for a Mage Fire one. I don't know what I want to give you for your other spell here. False Pit, maybe? Another False Pit. Perhaps. I guess. It's not really the greatest spell ever, but... so let's go check out the rest of the place here and see what we can do in it. That's basically going to primarily be the focus of this episode, I think, is exploring our new little home base and see what exactly all we can do with it. Because I have no freaking clue. So, who knows? It might be helpful to know that kind of information, though, before we wander off too far. We should also probably hire a couple of the merchants and stuff. Because that would probably be a good idea and could definitely possibly help us some. So we should probably work on that at least a little bit. Because that would most likely be a useful thing to have available to us. Just say. Wow, this loading screen. Okay, here we go. Finally. That only took like a million damn years. What do we got here? Oh, good. The remains of the plates and the goblets are some junk, sometimes caked with a solid layer of dust. No one has sat upon it for quite some time. We can't go sit on it? That's disappointing. Alright, real quick, let's jump into Spire's stuff. And let's get Motley collection of stuff available. Not too worried about the trainers right now. Unique items for sale. I'll take that. Regularly produces weapons. I will take that as well. That is expensive. Wow. Oh, jeez. I guess. Fuck, that's expensive though. Okay, well, I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know if they'll go up top or will they be outside. Who the hell knows? Or if they're going to show up here at all. Who knows? But I do want to explore the place and see if there's anything that's like worth.
You see what I see?
Oh. See if there's anything worth looking for. What do we got? Ooh, more superior cloth bracers. Oh, I didn't give you these before. Because I screwed that up. Okay. Well then. Okay, that's useless to me then. I don't want to take away your ability there, because that's actually a useful thing. Oops. Looking at the wrong person. Looking at the wrong person. Let's see. Oh, that is a two-handed weapon. Okay, you can't really use most of these abilities, unfortunately.
Right.
Or most of this equipment, rather. Oh, there's sections of this place that are now open that weren't open before. So I wonder, I wonder what we might find. Because this place was all kind of sealed off previously, and there's now sections that we can get to that we couldn't before. Blocked iron gauntlet. Access to a Spire Forge upgrade and proper materials. Okay. Oh. Okay. So we don't have that available to us right now because we don't have the forge, but once we do, I guess we can use that. I suppose. So that's the exit, so I don't want to go out there just yet, so we're not going to go in there. Go to the training grounds. Vendugar trainees spar in this area, perfecting their martial craft. Now, I wonder if we get to recruit the Vendrian Guard now. At least to some degree. Dagger plans. More research is needed to fill in the gaps in the plan. This research can be made with a Spire library upgrade and the proper materials. Interesting. Okay, and again, it just disappeared. Next to nowhere near large enough to keep the Vendrian Guard comfortable and well rested. Sleeping occurs in short shifts, with soldiers rotating in and out of beds.
Sorry, I can't.
So yeah, I think the Vendrian Guard must be our troops. Or will be our troops, anyway. Which explains why we have special abilities and stuff with them. Which we obviously don't right now, but we will eventually. Camping supplies, some more healing potions. Okay, so that was everything in this place. So is there stuff outside now that we can look at? I do wonder. Like, is there troops to be found? Friendly or otherwise? Yes, no, possibly.
Can't do that.
There's probably like upgrades that you can do to change stuff out here. Eventually. Central spire stretches in the clouds, towering at a height that is difficult to comprehend. From here, it appears completely unassailable. It's probably because it basically is. Bunch of different stuff. Some more random gem.
See that?
Dates back to Kairos' initial conquest of Tears. That it is one of the few blemishes remaining is testament to the Vendrian Guard's reconstruction efforts. More camping supplies and some more healing potions. Sweet. Alright, so let's get moving. There's some more stuff to find outside the walls, it looks like. So we will go and investigate those here really quick while we are still exploring the area around our new home. I do like that it actually has our flag on it too. And I can only assume that the Vendrian Guard are going to be our troops once the time, once all is said and done.
Sorry, I can't.
Because surely we'll have our own guards and stuff. We just don't have them right now because we just took the place. We have nothing with which to... We've had no opportunity yet to rebuild any sort of force. Or do anything with them, for that matter, of any sort. But hopefully that will not be the case for very long. Some cheese. Oh, good. So
Can't do that.
All the way up here for not a whole lot of anything. Is what you're telling me. Spire at a wall to keep interior, and then we can just leave. Alright, well, let's go to Tunan's court while we still have time. And once we are there, we're no longer under any edict or anything, so we don't have to worry about time. Time is not something that we have to concern ourselves with, and it's almost nighttime by the time we show up, but that's fine. And we can talk to Tunan and see what's what, possibly, with a little bit that remains of this episode. I'm going to try to start making episodes a little bit shorter, so I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time here if I can help it. So who are you? Why are you named when most people aren't? This well-dressed older woman stands apart from the milling crowds of nobles. She stares off into the distance, oblivious to your approach until you're right in front of her. Oh, greetings! She offers a reserved smile. Anda Lucretius. formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here, a fate binder, no doubt. What do you need? What are all these nobles doing in the court? Smirks and shakes her head. Trying to look brave, I warrant, but if you crane an ear to any of their conversations, you hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up shop in the Bastard City, we're still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. These are smart, ring-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle a grievance, others to pledge fealty. We're standing around long enough to know that the adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. So how's it fared? The forces took the city as we expected them to. Without mercy or restraint, the Scarlet Chorus spilled more blood than we had to give. We had to tighten our belts when the army replenished the supplies from our farms and caravans after our surrender. Tunon was kind enough to order grain hauled from the north. That earned him a lot of favor. Suffered our share of hardships, but it seems that Kairos wants us alive. There's a lot more generous outcome than some of us were led to believe. So why are you here? Frown cracks her pleasant demeanor. Like the rest of the frightened inbreds here, I come to see Tunon and ask him to right a wrong. My manor was destroyed during the conquest. I told the adjudicator my woes, but we didn't exactly see eye to eye. Tell me yourself. I'm the daughter of a noble house. We're wealthy enough to live in the city, but our means beyond that were limited. My mother dealt in fish, textiles, and bronze. By the time I inherited, the business was taking care of itself. Besides, of course, all that has changed. Thistleholm is no more, and my name has none of its former weight. Even if it was still in business, Kairos' laws would stifle our trading rights. Perhaps it's better this way. Laws of quota and sharing meticulously regulates tradable goods. Permits are issued to deserving merchants on an annual basis, but their allowances circulate by a design known only to Kairos and Tunon. A former wool peddler may be restricted to selling only copper, and the subsequent year trade fresh vegetables. Interesting. So what is Thistleholm? It was my family's ancestral home. The oldest stones dated back to the years when the Bastard City was not but a dozen roofs and wagons clustering for warmth. Compared to the houses of the great lords, it was nothing special. Age had softened the wood, and its queer placement in the warehouse district set it apart from the finer grounds where lords and ladies strolled for amusement. It was a mess, but our mess all the same, so it's in the city here. I would invite you over for tea, something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You'll find naught there but a gaping hole. What happened? Collateral damage happened. When the adjudicator cast his judgment on the Bastard City, he destroyed the districts of the corrupt merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Aged, dignified Thistleholm collapsed as a massive sinkhole opened under her foundation. The Bastard City's laws may not have been perfect by Kairos' standards, but my family followed them with respect and never took a copper ring more than we deserved. I can't help but feel that my estate was not the criminal Tunon had in mind during the sentencing. So what are you going to do next? Well, that's a question, isn't it? I appealed to the adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all 8 seconds, he rewarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. I mean, he gave you something, so... Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming? Can you believe that? Shakes her head. It's not even that I'm opposed to labor, but we're in a war. I can't have the Scarlet Chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops, and Kairos knows what else. Tunon's word is Kairos' law, whether you think it is fair or not. Laws are made to serve the masses, not the individual. Why didn't you take your reins? Justice is done. Of course, with dogs, they just use those reins to hire protection. Well, fuck the Scarlet Chorus at this point. Let's go with gain average favor. His word is Kairos' law, whether you think it is fair or not. Don't I know it? Meaning no disrespect to you or your office. I never questioned the power of Tunon's word. Come from a long line of smart, ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kairos' law. There's something wrong about it all. Maybe Tunon knows something I don't, or maybe she trails off, shaking her head. What do you mean? People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it, but it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half the time, they don't even get what they wanted out of a ruling in their favor. The deed to a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kairos' laws worked, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, even a fair one. Tunon is a servant of law, but he's the Overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We're just pieces on a board, and he can move us wherever the law justifies that we stand. That doesn't sound, well, legal. Kairos defines law. This isn't for either of us to question. Tunon isn't one to change his mind. Unfair as it might seem, the ruling stands. She's no better than to speak ill of the adjudicator. In my presence, I can only endeavor to bring true justice to the tears. How much is the silence? How much is my silence worth to you, ungrateful one? No, we can't do that. He isn't one to change his mind. Unfair as it might seem, the ruling stands. I had no thought to dispute the ruling, but I appreciate the kindness of your tone all the same. It's an uncommon thing to find in the Bastard City these days. Farewell, Fatebinder. Be well. I was gonna say, we should get some good opportunity here to gain some authority with Tunon. Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil. Any petitioners that displease Tunon would meet their fate in the pits below the court. Oh, good. Oh, it looks like some Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are actually here. Oh, there's more Fatebinders. Interesting. Let's save our game real quick. I'm a little concerned about what might happen. Alright, so let's see. Whenever my character's like a damn mile away. So there's 4 Fatebinders, counting myself.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
The shadows beneath Tunon's cloak darken and flare around him. Murmurs of unease erupt in the court. Let's not interrupt, good Lord Tunon. Your Honor, I've relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. She makes a dismissive gesture to the Scarlet Chorus representative. On my honor, and that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. This, of course, is Albatronus, the representative from the Disfavored. Ah, so you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours. You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because the Disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang. You only have one wrath with them? Oh, okay.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Bled and Mark will see to your fate.
Yeah, we first heard word of that previously. The Archon of Shadows, he's essentially their assassin, from the sounds of it. Yeah. The Archon turns and you feel his gaze upon you.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
Seriously? You must be mistaken, I wasn't present. Yeah, no kidding. Gain average wrath. I would expect that to be more than average. Lying directly to Tunon? What are you, stupid? Archons could not agree on who could lead the siege and descended at accusations of treachery. Seemed a mutual spat. They've been of different minds since the start of this war. Now let's just go with that. The Disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. Boulder Dash. The Disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. The Disfavored sing your praises across the realm, though the Scarlet Chorus appealed for charges of treason. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account.
I claimed it with a small unit of Disfavored.
An efficient solution. The type I would expect from a capable agent. Tell me, though, With the edict looming overhead and death the price of failure, why not employ the numerical advantage of the Scarlet Chorus?
The forces of Nerat provoked Ash at every turn. I suspected treachery. Yeah. The siege called for tactics and planning, not raw numbers. Also kind of true. I'm not opposed to either of these. Although at this point we're so deep in the shit with Nerat that I think I'm going to go with this one. For a long while, the adjudicator hovers in silence, shadows trailing from below his robes.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
I've told you all that I know.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there. Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Of course, man. Hey, you. Scarlet Chorus. You're no stranger to Tunan's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. Despite these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. Fair warning, when you backed Ash, you were as good as signing your death warrant, but we shouldn't discuss such matters in the court of law. You'll make our time in the tears an interesting one, won't you? He smiles for an uncomfortably long moment. Of course you will. You gave me something during the conquest. Tidecaster elders to interrogate. Now I'll give you something in return. You whispers an arcane symbol in your ear, one that you won't soon forget. Oh, cool. Got free shit. What'd I get? What did I get? Sigil of Emotions. What the hell's that do? Rage Mind. Cover is reduced by 25%, health is increased, and will is reduced. Oh, interesting. Okay. Or you can taunt. Oh, that's neat. That would be a good spell to give you, because then you could taunt people. And you actually have the ability to use it, too. No, not area of effect. Well, actually, yeah. Take 55. Or 45 for duration. Okay, that's kind of cool. But I can't really use it as well as I would like. Still, that is neat to have. What about the others?
That.
Can they? Do you guys have anything to talk to me about?
I got it.
Emulate me where I stand if it weren't for Tunon. Well, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Sounds like a really bad idea. The lieutenant gives you a curt nod. I'm ill at ease in this polished hall, but I bet that it's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interests throughout the occupation, then I'm up to the task. Maybe it's a prolonged siege, 8 fight binder. Enjoy the war while you can. I think I'd make it out of the pass alone. Then well for the Legion. Indeed, don't forget it. Oh, let's try and talk to the other Fatebinders and see what, if anything, they have to talk to us about. Lameril, return unscathed. Ooh, level 3 already. Whew. Return unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. The Fatebinder of War claps you good-naturedly and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. Guards you with a warm, boisterous smile. Gain some extra favor. Cool. Word has reached me regarding your negotiation tactics at Apex. I must admit, I'm impressed you made any headway with the southern wretches. If we are to open If they are open to reason, it would seem they aren't as ignorant as the Archon of War would have us believe. Let's speak freely. I'm going to talk to these people some more, but we're going to end the episode here. So I will see you folks in the next one. We will talk to Tunon. We'll talk to these guys a little, the other Fate Binders here a little bit, and we will pick up. So that's what we'll pick up next time. So take it easy, folks. Have a good day, and of course, as always, thank you for watching. Bye bye.